points convincingly from St Kilda out at VFL Park, and Melbourne beating Richmond, and the Demons really doing it with style this week, having won the National Panasonic Cup and had a great win over the Tigers at the MCG. Well, back to replays now and to the finish of the day at Windy Hill. The Bombers had made the early break with 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter, but over the next 2, the Cats kicked 9 goals to 5 and at three-quarter time led by 8 points. Well, the Bombers kicked the first in the last term to cut the margin to just 1 kick, and we joined the action early in the last quarter. Our commentators at Windy Hill, Peter G, Bernie Quinlan and Ian Robertson.
And didn't blaze away, saw Barnes out in front, and he's been a handy player up on that forward line.
2 points in favour of the Cats. Merritt in the ruck, Barnes at full forward. A few desperate changes made by Sheedy. Chance for Bright, he has to handball backwards. Now, on the end of it, Hocking, in towards centre-half forward. Mark taken by Turner. Casual as you like. Where was his opponent? One might ask. 11 kicks for Michael Turner. He's kicked 1 goal, 5. The other key forward, Linda, has kicked 5 behinds. And Turner punts for goal. He's hooked it, and it goes through for a behind when Geelong badly needed a goal. They lead by 3 points. And we've played 3.5 minutes of the last quarter.
Ryan Winton plays on from full-back, as he so often does. He's being pressured by Linda. The sparing lunge at the ankles doesn't pay off, and Winton has gained 50 metres. Runs halfway between half-back and wing. He keeps running too. Knock on from Walsh, not successful. Clark's was. Hawker couldn't gather. Christensen for the Cats. Back inboard to Hocking. Hocking towards half-forward, looking for Turner. Front position again on Duckworth, and another mark for Michael Turner. Duckworth, who's been up on the forward line and kicked 2 goals, back on the back line, and Turner starting off well on him in this last quarter. Squaring kick. Ablett back down on the forward line. The fist from Merritt goes loose. Picked up by Clark, and he's cocked one high. And if Turner was reported, then that one looked a hell of a lot worse.
I agree, Peter. I agree, and if he doesn't get that book out, I'll be very surprised.
It was Russell who came in. And we saw 2 men reported for similar things a week ago. No book out as yet, and there won't be one coming out.
Ah, well, how do you work it out?
Free kick with Clark.
Clark, handball wide to Merritt. Merritt goes straight through. Centre half back. Kicking towards the centre, Bailey can't mark. Christensen, Hawker at the back, does it well. Slips over at a crucial stage. Handball over to Watson. Watson's kick towards the goal. Offline, through for a behind of the Bombers. The difference is 2 points. Geelong 10-16-76, the Bombers 11-8-74, and we've played just over 5 minutes of the last quarter. Bright to bring the ball back in for the Cats, goes towards centre half back. Burke on the bottom, punched away by Merritt. Chance for Hawker. Handball finds Clark, he's tackled, breaks the tackle, back onto his left foot, now his right foot. Kicks towards goal. Over the top, Barnes can't mark, and it'll go over the boundary line for a throw-in, 15 metres around from the Essendon goal. Geelong are 2 points in front, and we're 6 minutes into the last quarter.
Van der Haar, back position on Burke. Williams, kick ricochets off a Geelong player over the boundary line. So the ruckman to do it again. Essendon throwing 2 men in on Burke, but he still wins the tap. Exel onto the left boot. Half back. Oh, Russell, fine mark. In the gathering gloom here at Windy Hill, Dwayne Russell pulls down a big one. Gets the Geelong side over the centre. Bill Brownless the target. Bounces just inside. Throw in with Geelong just into attack, and Paul Salmon would rather be out there, I'm sure. Hope it's not that knee that's giving him problems.
Boundary throw in. Centre wing, Merritt with strength. Williams can't break clear. Chance for Essendon. Slips over Terry Danaher, but he's been infringed against, a trip according to the umpire, and Terry Danaher will take the free kick. No, he doesn't. He handballs and finds Francis. Russell doing the chasing, but Francis's kick up towards half forward, and a good mark taken by the big Geelong captain on this occasion in Burke. Burke's kick. Oh, no one home. Thompson for Essendon takes the mark in the centre of the ground. Plays on quickly towards centre half forward. The mark taken by Boss. Boss comes through half back. Kicks with the left foot towards half forward for the Cats. It's over the back. Here's a chance for Lindner. He runs into his own man. Bairstow over the top. And for Essendon, Winton kicks it towards centre half back. And the mark has been taken by Folds for the Bombers.
7.5 minutes gone. Geelong up by 2 points. Folds finds Thompson beautifully. Left foot kick to half forward. Down goes Bright. And he's left Clark loose. He's caught by Stoneham. Off the ground from Burke. Troy over the top to Bright. Down through the middle go the Cats. Long kick for Lindner, who's out on the half forward flank. Straight through his hands. He's back in there to put pressure on Francis. He does it very well, Bruce Lindner. Could just about kick this one. He goes for home. It's there! Bruce Lindner brings up his first goal of the afternoon, and what a time to do it for the Cats. He puts them 8 points up at the 8-minute mark of the last quarter.
Yeah, great stuff by Lindner, but I thought Peter Francis could have got it over that boundary line. Here it is, his first goal for the afternoon, Lindner, and that's 1 goal 5 for the day. And he and Turner could have won the game between them.
Good shepherd by Turner up in the goal square. 8 points Geelong lead by. Merritt and Burke. Troy. Kick towards centre half forwards marked by Turner. It's all Geelong. Turner perhaps a little bit too far out. He's 65 metres out. Goes for the big torpedo. Drops in short. No mark taken. Chance for Lindner. He's pressured by Hurd. Mark Thompson out to Bailey at centre half back. On centre wing, Baker takes the mark. In towards centre half forward. It's through the Geelong players. Clark at the back will go straight for goal, and he bangs it through for the Bombers. And it's 2 points the difference again. 80 plays 82. 10 minutes into the last quarter, and Stephen Clark kicks his first goal for Essendon.
And probably a bit lucky to get that one, because well behind his Geelong opponents, and 2 Geelong players have just managed to weave its way through the ball there. So maybe a little bit fortunate, but only 2 points of difference.
Hughes, I think, should have called X or leave it. They both stopped and went through the gap. But Clark has given them a little lift in pace around the pack since he came on from the bench, as Merritt does it well out of the air. Bruns drives Geelong forward onto the half-forward flank. Number 16 is Brownless, number 5, Terry Danaher. 2 New South Welsh-born players. Throw in on the half-forward flank for Geelong. 2 Geelong against 1 Essendon this time. Brownless out of the air, but it's Williams on the ground. Well caught by Brownless. He gets his kick-off on the ground to Folds. He gives it to Danaher. Danaher to the wing. Baker beaten by Hocking. The tap goes to Bruns. Squaring kick only as far as Francis. Caught well by Scott. Knock on by Folds. To the wing, it's all Essendon. Daisy Williams. Handballs through there to Baker. Baker's handball to the running Hurd. Not a good handball. Puts Watson under pressure, but he's up to it. Handball just on slipping. Finds Thompson. His handball across to Baker. Kicks towards Buse. A bad bounce for him. Knocked for the boundary line from Boss. Lost by Winton. Christensen cleans up for the Cats. And the ball up towards the boundary line. Kept in well by Thompson. Good shepherd from Baker. Thompson drives up to the square. It falls short. They all fly. Hawker! Superb mark, Glenn Hawker. His 9th kick coming up, and a vital one for the Bombers. And after that mark, he deserves to put them in front. Odd thousand hearts and mouths. No mistake from Hawker. He kicks his first of the afternoon, and the Dons, for the first time in a quarter, back in the lead.
Great stuff, Hawker. And Essendon haven't had players up on the forward line who've been able to take the big mark today. And it's been left up to Hawker, really, who's played on the half-back flank and across the centre line to get up there and take the big mark.
Essendon by 4 points. 12.5 minutes into the last quarter. Burke, Merritt, chance for Hurd, Baker, Bailey. Now, Stoneham, Troy, gets past, backs himself. He's got to get past Thompson, and Bomber Thompson does it well. Left foot kick towards the wing is marked by Watson. And the Essendon fans come to life. Exel on the mark, smothered. Chance for Scott. Kick towards half forward. Marked by Lindner for the Cats.
And 15 metres.
15 metres, according to umpire Mitchell. And Lindner's now a chance from 50 metres. Kicks a long one. Into the square. Merritt at the back. It goes across the face of goal and out of bounds. 10 metres around from the behind post. Geelong in attack. Just over the 13-minute mark. Essendon lead by 4 points. 86 plays 82.
Winton, full-back, taking position for the throw-in. Down goes Brownless, but it's away through Merritt. Off to Francis. Christensen, the despairing hand. Williams gathers nicely to Francis. Kept running. Good work, Peter Francis. Drives them into attack. Van der Haar. No, again spills it. Cleaves handball. Puts Boss under pressure. He's up to it. Over the middle they go. But it's all Essendon now. Roger Merritt coming to it well in this last quarter. Chance for Francis. Kick it, say the crowd. Van der Haar another chance. Cleave over the top of him. Barnes on it for Essendon. Boss nowhere to go. Gives it to Burke. Napped away well by the tackler in Bailey. And a bounce half forward for Essendon. They lead by 4 points, 14 minutes into the last quarter.
Umpire Dorr in control. Punch away by Walsh. Troy's on the end of it. Buse tries to tap it to Russell. Bruns. Long kick towards centre half forward by Bruns. It's all Essendon. Through comes Hocking. Folds, tap on. Danaher over the boundary line for a throw-in. Half-forward flank, outer side of the ground. 65 metres around from the Geelong goal. And we wonder who they support. Brownless and Merritt. Chance for Hocking. Hurd intercepts. Feeds the handball wide. Clark fumbles at the crucial stage. Goes after it again. Right foot kick by Clark towards half-forward. No mark taken. Walsh. Tackled as he kicks the ball, but he gets the kick away to the front of the square. Barnes, no mark. Buse tidies up for the Cats. One bounce, two bounces. He's got 50 metres in front of him. Four bounces. Again, chased by Hawker. Pushed as he kicks, and the free kick will go downfield to Turner. And he did it well, Buse. He waited until just the last second, and Hawker a little upset. Turner's kick towards centre half forward, and the mark taken by Ablett. 30 metres out directly in front. Fourth mark to Ablett. He's already kicked 2 goals, and with his 8th kick, could put the Cats in front. Gary Ablett. He's hooked it, and he's missed. A behind to Geelong, and Essendon lead by 3 points, and we are 16 minutes into the last quarter.
And a poor shot for goal by Ablett, because he took it easy. He didn't kick through it.
Terry is the call from the Essendon fans, and their skipper does it well. Danaher to Hawker. Keeps it in play for Walsh. Knocks Stoner off it, but can't keep it in. The Essendon fans, I think, saying poetic justice that shot at goal. They didn't agree with the free kick down ground. Throw in between wing and half forward for them. Burke's tap. Scott wrestling with Williams. The two blondes on the bottom of the pack exchange pleasantries. The Essendon fans looking to exhort their team onto victory. They lead by 3 points. 17 minutes gone last term. Burke wins the tap. Goes to Clark. Under pressure, gets the kick away. Hughes first back on it. Well pressured by Barnes. Van der Haar arrives to put extra pressure on, but Hughes has got the toe. The kick's not a good one. Bailey for the Dons. Told to go long. Torpedo punt off the side of the boot into the pocket. Favours Watson. Good mark! It's been paid. Tim Watson. Into the pocket. Good place to be when the long shot's coming in. They can wobble off the side of the boot. And he had that break, Tim Watson, to take his 4th mark of the afternoon.
Judged it well, but Mark Boss really should have been able to punch it away.
Well, a vital shot at goal for the Essendon veteran. Cross the goal, brings up a behind. Time for some deep breathing from all concerned. 4 points the lead for Essendon as Brownless prepares to come on for the Cats.
Brownless came off, actually, Peter, and Schultz is on. And it's a bit of a desperate move by the Cats. Brownless hadn't done much for a few minutes. The kick in towards half-back. Oh, it's overrun by all Essendon players. And Geelong scramble. That half-back is Billy Brownless, looking very, very weary. Takes a breather on the bench. Umpire Dorr. Burke, tap towards Bruns. Williams sees the ball safely over the boundary line for a throw-in. It's slightly into Essendon's scoring area, a long way away from their goal. Burke and Merritt. Burke gets the tap out. Here's a chance now for Russell. Kick up towards the forward pocket area. No mark taken. Lindner tackled as the ball went to the ground. Francis intercepts right up against the boundary line. As a matter of fact, the boundary umpire right on the spot, and Francis obviously just gone over the boundary line for a throw-in. 65 metres around from the Geelong goal.
Merritt gets it down. Schultz, number 23, new player for Geelong. It's trundled out only as far as Bruns. Turner has 2 to beat. Oh, picked up by Scott. This little fellow's kicked 2 on the run. Has he hooked it enough? He has!
Great play.
Well, 3 goals, and you really couldn't pick which one was the best. I guess in the situation, that one was, because it's put Geelong in front.
But look at the Essendon players here. There's 2 of them just waited, and Scott was the only one who really attacked the ball. And onto that trusty boot of his. He's kicked 3 goals on the run, and that couldn't have come at a better time for the Geelong side.
Cats lead by 2 points. Burke. Francis fumbles. Schultz taps it on. Bairstow on Hurd. Bruns tries to crash his way through. Here's Scott again. Handball's out. Christensen. A long one. Into the square. Has it gone through? It's a goal. Yes! The Geelong big man in the goal square gave the indication that Christensen had kicked a great goal for the Cats. They're 13th and they lead by 8 points.
I don't know, Christensen kicked that from a long way out. And there's that man again. Handballs it out to Christensen. He's kicked that from 55 metres out at least. And well done again by Ablett to shepherd it through.
Well, 8 points is a big lead at the 21-minute mark. As it's picked up by Walsh in his 100th game. Can he revitalise the Dons? Behind the pack, arriving Clark, met heavily. Throw in the pocket.
And there's Baker off the ground.
Bench. Leon Baker.
That's after he left that one for Scott to run through and kick the goal.
Mistakes not tolerated as Burke. Stoneham now for the Geelong. Fends off Williams, kicks to the wing. Ricochets off Russell's chest momentarily, but he keeps going. Williams steals it away from him. Kicks high. Barnes is the flyer they want. Boss for Geelong. Keeps it in front of him on the hands and knees. He gets it to Cleve. Chance for Clark. Bruns pulls it back under his body. Out it goes. Geelong clear. Buse. Handballs. Boundary line or a teammate will suit him, but it's gone the way of the Dons. Now it's Exel for Geelong. Kicks to the wing. Up high, Lindner. Down on the ground, Francis. Off to Merritt. This looks promising. Folds for Essendon. Outside 50. Up to the edge of the square. He's looking for Big Barnes, but it's Boz who knocks it away. In this pocket, snap it goal from Clark. One behind. The difference, 7 points. They've played 22 and a half minutes. Either team can win this one. Terry Bright taking plenty of time at full-back.
Bright goes for the long one, out towards half-back. He doesn't quite get onto it. Burke in front. It's punched away towards Essendon's goal. Folds. A long hand pass into the pocket. Kicked by Watson to the front of the square. There's a chance for Hawker. Barnes, running through. Essendon interfered with no Hawker on the bottom of it. Can't break clear, and umpire Dorr decides on a bounce. Only 12, 13, 14 metres out directly in front. And Geelong desperate to protect their lead. They lead by 7 points, and we've played 23 and a half minutes of the last quarter.
Burke against Walsh, the 230s. Burke down to Watson! He's missed it. Oh, well rode by Tim Watson after Geelong won it in the air. Burke just tending to fist it at the moment. They can go anywhere as Terry Bright gets away just after the flags have finished waving. No one to kick to. He gets a good shepherding, draws the man and gives it to the skipper. Damien Burke. A wobbly old kick up to the wing. A bounce, an awkward one, but he does it well, Duckworth. Handball will go to his opponent in Turner. Tries to tap it for Scott. Down goes Bailey with one in the back. Dean Bailey, centre wing for Essendon. Handballs to Duckworth. Fumbles, caught by Lindner, but gets it to Folds. Up towards half forward. Hawker leaves it forward. Barnes! Good talking from the youngster. He said, leave it, Glenn. And Barnes, in trepidation, wants to pass it if he can. You see Hawker there. And the mark was held for long enough. He'll kick from just inside 50. He's kicked 3. Make it 4! Essendon to within. Well, no, it's tied up, all tied up here at Windy Hill.
And what a game. Coming up to time on now. And there's Barnes. He's a real Spring Hill Jack. He's got a fantastic leap and a sticky pair of fingers.
Scores a level. 25-minute mark of the last quarter. Time on. Merritt, Burke. What a finish. Both sides desperate. Umpire Mitchell. Christensen. Kick to half forward. Out in the open. Close to the boundary line. And it goes over for a throw-in. It's a push in the back. And the free kick will go to Thompson against Turner. 15-metre penalty. Play on. Elshaw. Long one to centre half forward. The high flyers wanted. No one there. Geelong tidy up. It goes out towards the centre of the ground. Merritt kicks into the pocket. Leading in the race for the ball. A mark taken by Terry Danaher. And Essendon must hit the front. Surely Danaher can score. He's 45 metres out. A very experienced campaigner. A beautiful kick by Merritt finds Danaher out in front of Bright. And here's the Essendon skipper. Shoots for goal. It's a high one into the square, but it puts the Bombers in front. They lead by a point at the 26.5-minute mark of the last quarter. And now Geelong have to fight hard to get back.
Exel from full-back. Got a lovely left boot. Gets plenty of distance, looking for Stoneham. Knocked away by Walsh. Behind the pack, it's Merritt. He's played a top last quarter. Elshaw bombs the Bombers to the edge of the square. Barnes couldn't quite get it on the rebound. Exel, cool. Out for the running Bruns. The Cats to half-back. Not a good kick. Spilt by Folds. Tapped by Hocking across to Scott to the wing. Arriving too late, Van der Haar, but behind the pack he's got Thompson. Caught by Troy, play on. Francis for Essendon. Kicks towards half forward. All Geelong here. Boz in front, a good mark. 27 minutes gone, they can't waste time. Christensen for the Cats, over the centre, and he finds Troy.
Troy plays on quickly. Baker looking anxious on the bench. Troy comes in towards centre half forward. Geelong need to mark this. It's up in the goal square. Turner at the back. Merritt desperate. Ablett desperate. All players desperate. The ball on the ground, Merritt in there for Essendon, and a bounce will take place only 40 metres out from the Geelong goal, and we've played 27 and a half minutes. Essendon lead by a point, 96 plays 95. What a finish.
Taken out of the air by Russell, but only as far as Bailey. Taken by Ablett, snap! Through from behind. No, kept in play. Brilliant work by, was it Van der Haar down there?
Oh, no,
It's out
he's
of
kicked
bounds
it
on
out.
the full. It's a free kick to Geelong, only 35 metres out.
Well, Van der Haar, he did miracles down there, the Flying Dutchman, to sprawl and keep it in play, and it's Superman for the Cats, hoping he will live up to his nickname. His snap stopped from going over by Van der Haar, and then he's put it out in the full. The clock says 28-13. Get them away 10 metres back, says Gary Ablett. He wants to score. He might have done more than that. No, it hasn't scored. Duckworth.
Yes, it's a point, Peter.
No, the goal umpire has signalled a behind. Well, looked as if it hadn't crossed. Scores a level. The boundary umpire prepares to throw in. Has to hand it back to Duckworth to get it to the full back instead, and we've gone 28 3/4 minutes.
Well, Elshaw with the football, deciding that he may want to run with it. Now he decides to loop the handball out to the back pocket. Francis. Essendon desperately trying to get the ball forward. Fires again. Plays on Hawker in the centre of the ground. 29 minutes gone. Hawker into the forward pocket. No mark taken. A chance for Bright. He punches the ball towards the boundary line and it goes over for a throw-in. 25 metres around from the Essendon goal, and we're 29 minutes and 22 seconds into the last quarter. Scores level at Windy Hill. Boundary throw-in.
We've had 7 goals kicked in the quarter, so there might be a bit of time on. Burke wins the tap. Williams can't keep it in play. 29 and a half minutes gone. Scores all tied up at Windy Hill. The Bombers have the chance. A score, I'd say, would win it for them. The 2:30s towards the boundary line. There it is. It's a draw. A tie at Windy Hill. The umpire has now blown time on, and in fact, he hadn't blown it till well after the siren. So the defence from Buse was good football to keep running with the ball, because it wasn't all over until it was signalled by the goal umpire. A draw at Windy Hill, and Bernie Quinlan, well, perhaps a fitting result.
Well, there's talk of the end of an era at Essendon, but the talk at Geelong is of a new one. John Devine told Peter G that the youth of the Cats is being underestimated.
People are inclined to forget that we have a relatively young side. We've got a Robert Scott at 18, a Gary Hocking at 18, a Barry Stoneham at 19, a Billy Brownless at 19. And these are pretty young fellas to be playing league football.
People are calling them stars, so
That's
Bill
right.
Brownless already.
Well, that's right. Bill has got a star status image already, and he's 19 and he's only learning the game. Robert Scott has turned 18 a fortnight ago, so that we've got a lot of kids, you know, and perhaps we might be setting our expectations too high, you know, especially against an experienced side like Essendon today. When the crunch come and the crisis come, you know, one of them made a bad mistake at a crucial part of the game, but he's learning the game, so we've got to be patient and tolerant with these fellas. But I'm sure we're on the right tram with these fellas. You know, they're going to be very good players for the club in the future, and you know, I think the club can look for a bright future because of these fellas.
Well, it was just the third draw in VFL football since 1980, although in that year there were 3, quite a glut. And it's the first since the Queen's birthday in 1985, when North Melbourne and Hawthorn played that classic match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Barnes kicked 4 goals for Essendon and Duckworth 2, and for the Cats 3 to Scott, 2 each to Ablett, Brownless and Bruns, the first draw of 1987. Well, now to the best marks of the day on a Saturday when it blew and at some grounds rained. And first in our top six, and great to see, second game back, Tim Watson. Little big man, Neville Bruns.
It's called play on as Bruns, the little fellow over the big fish who doesn't know where he's gone.
A flyer from Kevin Walsh.
Pressuring from the back line, and a great mark from Walsh. Thompson
from the back, and good to see him back, Glenn Hawker.
Superb mark, Glenn Hawker.
The judgment of Solomon from Paul Morwood.
O'Keefe. Oh, clever mark. Oh. Floated off the ground, took it beautifully.
And the juggling of the circus performer from Bill Duckworth.
Duckworth, yes! Sensational mark by Duckworth. A juggling act.
Final wrap-up on the second day of round 4. The winners today were Footscray by 44 points over St Kilda, a draw between Essendon and Geelong, Collingwood 47-point winners over the Bears, and Melbourne by 41 over Richmond, Sydney winning by 7 points against Carlton last night in Sydney, and going to the top of the ladder outright with 5 wins from 6 games, Carlton with 4 wins, then Geelong up into the 5 with Essendon and separated by percentage, Hawthorn 5th, and the Hawks could join the Blues with a win tomorrow. Outside the 5, Melbourne, Fitzroy, Brisbane, North and Collingwood all on 12 points. So what a battle it is, and only 2 teams at this stage have won more than 3 matches out of their 6 so far. It's quite an even season, more even than we've seen for some time. The goal kicking very subdued today. Warwick cap at 2 last night for 29. Lockett goalless. Barwick plays tomorrow. Taylor got 4 for a total of 24, and Kernahan 5 last night to move into equal third position with a total of 24. Well, our goal selection wasn't as great as usual. As you can see, not so many scored, as the scores generally were lower due to the weather. But here are our best today. And first up, it's a sneaker from Bill Duckworth.
As the game goes on, Elshaw. Over the top, Barnes. Duckworth grabs the football, kicks with the left foot, puts it through. A brilliant goal by Billy Duckworth. He plays
great running and backing up from Gavin Exel of Geelong.
Chance for Russell, can't get past, but he gets the handball to Exel. Exel goes for goal and puts it through.
Great left foot snap from Brian Taylor.
Recovery here. O'Brien. Oh, but good play by Taylor. He's goals.
The last one of a treble by Geelong's young Robert Scott.
Oh, picked up by Scott. This little fellow's kicked 2 on the run. Has he hooked it enough? He has!
Now, best, a lesson. If you make a mistake, keep on trying. Bruce Lindner of Geelong.
He's back in there to put pressure on Francis. He does it very well, Bruce Lindner. Just about kicked this one. He goes for home. It's there! Bruce Lindner brings up his first goal of the afternoon.
Well, the round comes to its conclusion tomorrow, as all rounds do this year, with matches every Sunday, at least in the home and away series. But for the first time, a double header on Sunday with a match in Perth between the West Coast Eagles and North Melbourne. You can see that live on ABC television from 2 tomorrow afternoon. And meanwhile, here in Melbourne, a match